Hey YouTube, here's I guess another attempt at a video to talk about some of my junk. Anyways, I know a lot of you guys are tuned in for updates on the BMW, and I'll get to that pretty soon here. I've been a little bit slack lately making videos, but for anybody who hasn't seen any videos about this, there's a couple on my page. This thing has a 370-inch LS in it with a turbo and 480E and all kinds of fun stuff, and it's like a 1,000 flywheel horsepower pump gas deal that I bang around on the street with all the time. But anyway, the focal point of today's video is to talk about this car over here. This is an 89 Fox body Mustang that I own. I guess I've had a pretty long-standing relationship with these cars. I've got another one back home that I've had for, must be 16 years now, I guess. But anyway, this one here I bought around 2008, I'm going to say, with the intentions of making a drag car out of it. This was originally a 4-cylinder 5-speed car, and it was pretty clapped out at the time, but it wasn't in bad shape. Like, I had to put 2 front fenders on it. But rust-wise, it was pretty darn clean. It was originally an Alberta car, so I guess that's probably why. But anyway, quick rundown about the drivetrain in this thing, and I guess everybody gets their pants in a knot nowadays because everybody's doing LSs in these things, but this thing actually still has a small block Ford in it. It is, there aren't really any Ford parts in it though per se. It's based on an Iron Eagle, a Dart Iron Eagle block, and it has a 4340 crank and Oliver billet rods and diamond pistons. It's got CNC ported dart heads and an EFI Super Victor, and it's a hydraulic roller 10-to-1. Campbell Automotive here in the city actually built the engine originally, and I built the turbo setup for it, although it was built originally with the intentions of being turbocharged anyways. And it has 2 PT70 HPQ precision turbos on it, or journal bearing turbos, and it has 2 44mm tile gates. No Chinese stuff, it's all good parts. It's air-to-air intercooled. It's got a gigantic Garrett air-to-air intercooler. As you probably noticed, this thing doesn't have a distributor. That's an AEM engine position module that I use for cam sync. And I have a fast XFI and an XIM. And it's a very similar setup to what guys use on LSs and Hemis and all that kind of stuff. So basically it has coil-on plug setup, and I really like it so far. It works very well. It's been on the car, well, since it was put together, and I haven't had any issues with it. It works very nice. Anyway, and behind that I have an ATI cased 180 gear straight cut blah 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 power glide with all the good stuff in it. Dynamic Racing Transmissions in the US built it for me. It has a 10-inch UCC converter. It's pretty tight. I think it stalls around 25-2600 until you start making boost. It has the Ford Racing 2300K whatever brake kit on it, so it's got disc brakes all around. And it stops very well, which is pretty nice because these Fox bodies are pretty crappy in the brake department, factory. And the front end's all aftermarket stuff. Tubular front end, tubular A-arms. Most of it's Maxim Motorsports. It has coilovers. The struts are Tokiko D-Specs. What else? It has a Moser 9-inch in the back, which is a package I bought from Moser, so there's no factory Ford junk back there. It's in an aftermarket case with a back brace on it, and it's got 35 spline axles, and you can see it's got the real heavy studs and everything, so you don't have to worry about busting those off at the track. As I do run slicks on this thing at the track, or usually they're 10.5 by 29.5. And the fuel cell's in the trunk. It's got a 10-gallon RCI aluminum cell. The battery box is back there too. What else? It's got a Wolf Racecraft anti-roll bar, so this thing leaves the line actually pretty well. It's like getting shot out of a cannon, but it's like getting shot straight out of a cannon. It's very nice. It's very controllable. Anyways, and it's got a 10-point Wolf Racecraft chrome Molly roll cage. You can see the interior is pretty minimalistic in this thing. I mean, it's not a totally gutted out race car, but it's pretty purpose built, one would say. Hearst quarter stick shifter. We don't have a radio, obviously. And yeah, no, remember what else. It still has power steering. I know a lot of people ask that question about this car. I guess I'm lazy is the best way to put that. I really enjoy power steering. when you've really got more power than you need, it's a couple of horsepower to drag around a power steering pump. It doesn't offend me very much anyway. As far as power numbers, I guess I should throw that out there. I guess I'm trying not to sound like these friggin' guys on 1320 to make 3,000 horsepower and trap 130 miles an hour. But basically, this thing on pump fuel at 14 psi made around 1,200 flywheel. And we didn't want to get too aggressive with it on pump gas because I mean, there's no need to go break things just for the sake of trying to save a couple of bucks on gas. And on C16 at 25 psi, it made like 1,600. That said, though, as far as it's been in the car, I've never turned it up past 14 psi because at 14 pounds, it banged off 850s at the track. It does that pretty easily at that boost level. And yeah, the cage is only good for 850s anyways. So, and well, Castro's threatened to kick me out of there, so I tend to try and abide by the rules if I can. Anyways, it really hasn't seen a lot of use since it's put together. I think the odometer says like 500 kilometers at this point. It really hasn't gone very far. Yeah, and that's about it. I'm going to throw in some video here at the end of farting around on the street, maybe go on the highway and spin the tires a couple of times. You can hear what this thing sounds like. The wastegates are dumped to atmosphere, so this thing really sounds like a jet fighter when you get into it. It's pretty awesome. Anyways, we'll pick this up later. Alright, well, onward and upward. We got some gas. It's actually 94 octane. I thought it was 93. Anyways, here we go.